And this made me so uncomfortable and mad last night, and I still can't believe it. I'm still processing it. Welcome, Modern Talkers. This is Modern Talk. Modern Talk. Why? Audience? Thank you. It's one person. Um, I work for her, but she's working for me right now, which is really uncomfortable. And I never had someone else in the room while I did this before, so this will be fun. And one time her mom referenced something that I was like, wait, did I tell her that? And she's like, no, I listened to the podcast, and I got weirded out in a good way. Um, she talked about the donut incident. I was like, whoa, you saw that? Wow, that's crazy. Because I do this and I don't think anyone listens to it, and no one does, but then one person does, and it weirds me out, even though this is why I do that. So we're off and running. Wow. So someone called me Tammy today. That was really fun. I was a visitor at a business meeting thing, and wow, I'm really amped up. And on the little form or whatever, they're like, we have a guest here. That's Tammy, to Tommy, and so now I'm Tammy now forever. So I'm not gonna go back to that place probably, and so that's why I have this sweet business name tag on. I'm really hot. Yes, dude, I'm so uncomfortable. But you got to use this energy. Get loosey-goosey with it. Get silly with it. So last week, I forgot to talk about this in the playoff game, the kickball playoff, as you know. And one of the guys on our team taunted the other team, and that was not cool with me. I was like, no, man, we don't do that. That's not us. And so what he did was he got into third base, and then the pitcher, who was like kind of bro-y, like we have jerseys or whatever, and on the jerseys you could put like whatever you want on the back as your name, and his was the Cutter, which was stupid. And I think it was because since he's the pitcher, he like cuts the ball when he pitches it, and so he's that guy. He's the Cutter, and so he was like kind of egging him on to make a move, egging our guy on at third, and then our guy at third went like this, and you don't do that. You can't egg them on like fully. He was like, dude, I don't like that. That's not cool. That's not sportsmanship, which sportsmanship, is up for debate on what that exactly means. But I think that's a line there that you don't like pointedly do like at someone. You could like, get really excited toward your team and stuff, but like doing it towards another player on the other team is not cool. So, and then when I spoke up and was like, hey, we don't do that, our team like laughed at me. It was like, dude, you do that all the time. And I don't do that. And it's a fine line because I do play with an edge, but I never taunt. And so what I do is I stretch the limits and I push them to the limits, but like with my base running, so I'm on the base the least amount of possible to keep them on edge. And but I never gesture, hey, come on, come get me. I let my play speak for itself. So I never say like, oh, you suck, you're ugly, or whatever people say. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to bring that lesson here that it's not cool to taunt, but there is a fine line where you could stretch your team. You could amp up your team by stretching the limits, and also maybe push the other team to the limits, and then they make it. That's how they make a mistake, and then you capitalize on that. So that's what I wanted to learn about that. And this made me so uncomfortable and mad last night, and I still can't believe it. I'm still processing it. But so one of the girls on our team kicked the ball, and then on our way to first, the guy was throwing it to first, obviously, and she thought it might hit her, so she kind of like shrieked into first, and then when she got back to the dugout, she had tears in her eyes, and I didn't know what it was. So I was like, well, first I said good hustle, and then I noticed her eyes, and I was like, well, come on, sit down. Like, what's going on? And other people obviously were like around, and then she said, the umpire just said, I have to, like, show me where your boyfriend is, because I want to ask him if you're a screamer. And I was like, bro, you can't say that. That's so obscene. It's like, I can't even believe that happened. And it's like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm still processing it. But that made me so mad. And so she was crying. And then so I went up to the guy, like, more like, I'm proud that I was calm, but I kind of wish I wasn't as calm. I don't know. And I was like, hey, did you say something to her? And he was like, oh yeah, I was just having fun. I was just having as much fun as you guys. And I was like, you can't say that. You cannot say that. And he's like, I didn't know. And like, it's wrong on so many levels. Like, even if you said that to someone you know, it's like, okay, man. And then, but you can kind of excuse it, like, oh, like, I know who you are. You're not like a terrible person or something, and you're just an old man that doesn't really get it. Because he was old. He was like, I don't know, 60s, and so you can't say that to someone you don't know. You can't say it because you're a person of authority, and it's like not funny or even really a joke. So I don't know what the whole purpose of that was. I don't think it was fun. And I'm Mr. Jokes a lot, but there's lines, and I know it's like free speech or whatever, but like, free speech to yourself or something. You can't make a girl cry is the bottom line, in my opinion. And so he was like escorted off the field by the guy who ran it. And, but like no one was freaking out about it. And I was like, this is terrible. And then we just played the game, and she sat out for an inning. But then she came back because she's like strong and kind of lets that stuff run off her shoulder. So that's why I was like, especially surprising that she let that get to her so much and made her cry, and that's not cool. So and then like I felt so bad after that, and we were getting killed because we were playing the team that didn't lose all year, and then so it felt like the game was like no longer important. It was like, this is so much bigger now. And it was just like, obviously you don't want to think about that while you're playing a game and supposed to be having fun. And that guy's fun version of fun was ruining it for everyone else. Cool. Geez. So then we started playing, and that was, it was fun because it was a real high level of play. And there was a couple times when I was backing up, like I hustled over to the play so that I could back up if something went wrong. And twice that worked out for us. which is way more than it usually does. But they're the team that pushes the limits the most because they're the best, so they could afford to do that, and also they're good enough to back it up. So the one time the guy overran it, overran the base, and then I was there. They threw it at him, but he was safe, and then he started to go again, and then they didn't see me, and I picked up the ball and threw it at him, and so that's always good to back up. I guess I backed up, I backed up in real life too, and that's what I love about sports and games in general, because it's not just a game. You're supposed to have fun and everything, but I think there's so much to learn and so many parallels in sports that that if you play with integrity and passion, what are the other words? Perseverance and all that stuff, that translates into your personal life and your business life and vice versa. So I'm a big proponent of how you live is how you live. So if you make a choice now, it also affects, like you are more prone to make a choice like that again. So if you could be consistent, that's the best thing that you could do. And it's just really yeah. So what I was trying to say is I was backing up people in real life, like, because that girl like had that horrible experience, and then I was backing them up in the game, and so that's how it bleeds into real life. And I'm not that person. I've never done anything like that, but no one else was stepping up, and it was like someone has to do something or say something, and I guess it's me. That's fine. And that was it. Wasn't as hard as I thought. It was just like, this has to happen, so I'm gonna do it. So I'm really surprised at that I did that, and I don't know. No one seemed to care that I did it. I don't know if it wasn't necessary, maybe, but to me it felt so necessary, and I just felt so gross about it, and because I was so calm, I don't know if it was good to be calm, because so it wasn't good for my health to be calm, but to resolve the situation, for him to apologize and all that stuff, I don't know if he ended up apologizing, but he said that he would when I talked to him, because he was apologetic, but he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I didn't mean anything. It was just fun. I don't know. So, gosh. So I don't know if that was the right decision to be so calm, because it burned inside of me, and it would have felt better for me to let it out and yell at him or something. But that wouldn't have solved anything, and he would have maybe just been mad back, I don't know. So so when I was walking back to my car, I park on the other side where no one parks, just because I like the simplicity and quietness of it, and so I yelled as loud as I could to let out that energy and that anger that I had for that whole situation, and it was really loud, and I lost my voice a little bit last night, but I needed to do that, and I don't know how it would have came out if I hadn't done that last night. I don't know if I would have flipped out on someone this morning when they called me Tammy, but it was I think that was necessary, and I never did anything like that either before, so I'm learning about myself on the fly. Okay. So I signed someone's arm as Thor, obviously, and me and Pete, I went over Pete's this weekend, and for the Super Bowl and stuff, and we went out to eat, and one of the workers at the Hibachi Steakhouse was like, "Hey, you look like Thor," and she was like, "Sign my arm," and so I signed her arm as Thor. And I should have got a picture of that, but I didn't. but I also don't look like Thor. If anything, like I look like Aquaman. I get that more. I don't know if she confused them, but it doesn't matter because Thor has blonde hair, so usually people go with Aquaman. But that was a really funny experience. Hopefully a lighter note on top of everything else. I also wrote down tennis signing. Oh, okay, yeah, I know what that is. So, so I'm feeling better about putting myself out there, like romantically or whatever, and like after all these years, not years, but there was there was the tennis team at Liberty, like just sitting there at the basketball game, because my parents came for the basketball game and it happened to be the Super Bowl. Boring, but we were at the basketball game, and there was like just girls set up at a table, and no one was talking to them or anything, and I was like, "What's going on here?" And they're like, "We have posters. The tennis team is." It was a poster of the tennis team, which was those people sitting there, and they were all gonna sign it, which I don't know what that was like, that was even for. But I was like, yeah, sure, let's go for it. And then someone was like, "Do you braid your hair a lot?" And I was like, "No, I have done it before, but I don't know how to do it like other people have done it." So yeah, I don't really remember why that story was important. I guess it's just showing how my slight progression of growing up. So another step in that direction was I don't think I talked about this. My Myrtle family, as you guys know, they know someone from New York, which is where they're from, and she's possibly moving down here. And they're like, "You guys would be perfect. She's so pretty. She's funny. She has a cool job, and she's super sweet." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, those are awesome qualities in a person. Check, check, check." And then they showed me a picture, and I went, "Whoa, okay." And so she was gonna visit here and like see if any vibes caught off. And then my Myrtle mom's mom, so my Myrtle grandmother, she said, "Oh, you guys like gonna be pen pals or something?" And I was like, "No, you old lady that's out of touch with reality. Then we would obviously not do that." And then I was like, "Wait, should we do that?" And so I thought it'd be funny to write her a letter, even though she doesn't know really I exist yet. But so so I wrote in the letter like, "Hey, I'm always skeptical of these matchmakers, quote unquote, but the Riveras told me about," and then I say the checkmark thing, and then I say they show me your picture, and I go SpongeBob exhale meme, when he's naked against the rock. So I'll put it up on the video, obviously, but and then at the beginning I say, because it's like kind of a joke, like it's funny that I'm doing it, but it's not a joke necessarily. I like to toe that line, but so at the beginning, so it's in an envelope, obviously, so the outside, meaning the back of the letter, is on top. So on the top of the back of it, I wrote, "Please put on Never Never Gonna Give You Up" by Barry White on while you read this. And if you know that song, it's like the most sexual maybe song ever. So I'll give you a little snippet of it right now. You ready? So the idea was for her to have this on while she read it, and just to get her in the mood a little bit. So I think I did like enough like weird jokey stuff where like she'll know right away if she's like my cup of tea or not, because you got to do that, because you don't want to get in a relationship and be like weird around them and they're like, "Wait, you're weird?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So you gotta lay all your cards out at first, and so if I'm not her cup of tea, that's fine. And like I have nothing to lose because I never met her and may never meet her if she ever decides to not come down or whatever. And she also might have a boyfriend, but that's not important. Because they said it's a really bad relationship. I don't want to air out other people's stuff, but there was word that she was separated or whatever. Anyway, hopefully it ruins their Valentine's Day, whatever. And not really, obviously. So I wrote that, yeah. So that was another step in my growing, whatever. And this is a really weird thing that I came across this. Oh, I'm so hot. Came across this week. So I was taking off this ugly barcode from a face wash that I got from Target, and I've been wanting to take it off for months, and I finally had the patience and determination to actually do it. And while I was doing that, I was thinking of my life and the direction it was going and where I want to go, etc. And I wouldn't have done that had I not had that ugly barcode to take off. So I was thankful for the barcode after being like actively resentful for it every time I looked at it for months. So sometimes the things we avoid is the things that we need. And I think that's super important to realize that and actually go towards the things that we want to avoid. So once I went for it, it took definitely less than 5 minutes, and I didn't solve any of my life's questions or whatever, but I'm definitely closer because of it. So I just want to leave you with that. If you find yourself avoiding something, the odds are you have to go towards it and accept it and deal with it, because you're gonna deal with it either way, like being angry at an umpire for doing some sexual innuendo crap. Sometimes you just have to yell it out, and that might work. Or if you don't, then it'll come out in yelling at people for calling you Tammy. So that's been Modern Talk. This has been a really unique one because, Destiny's here, first of all, and also because the air just went on. That's cool. Obviously this is different. I forgot to mention this even because this is it takes a minute to shut off anyway. But I'm wrapping up anyway. Yeah, we're trying. I'm trying something every week, something different. And I thought everything was perfect last week. I really liked that setup. But you got to learn and grow. You got to roll with the punchies. And I really, for some reason, every time I look at this, I think it's so cool. So maybe we'll stick with this for a little bit. But you're growing with me, and I love you guys. And leave a comment, activate that algorithm, and yeah, thank you. Please keep in touch, and I hope this made you think.
Welcome, Modern Talk. This is Modern Talk. Modern Talk. Modern Talk. Modern Talk. I hope this made you think. Why? How?
Let's get it over with, right, guys? Huh?
So do you need to count me down?
Yeah, because I'll never start.
Okay, we're recording.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Clear. Clear, clear, clear.